This is Dr. Lou Cella, sport and performance psychologist. The title of this video is called Formation Nation. And one thing I've noticed, that I've seen this trend for years, but especially in the last couple of years, is coaches are enamored with formations. And that scares me. And I'm going to tell you why. It scares me because too many coaches out there are too interested in tricking people instead of executing. Formations are not cheap. That is a gross misconception. Because when you draw up the under center triple option offense against different formations, there's a lot of thinking involved. And when there's thinking involved and there's frontal lobe use in the brain, that's not good for football. Concepts should dictate formations. Formation should not dictate concepts. Now, I read something today on X from somebody who probably can't tell the difference between a screen pass and a screen porch. Oh, Air Force runs all these different formations. Guys, Air Force runs 3 formations. They run flex, heavy, and spread. Yeah, once in a while they run empty. They go 3-by-2. But Air Force is pretty much either 2-by-2 or 1-by-1, however you want to define it. They don't run a whole lot of 3-by-1. They'll go 3-by-2 once in a while to do stuff with the quarterback. But guys, they run 3 formations. Flex, spread, heavy. That's what they run. And concepts have to dictate the formation. It can't be the other way around. Stop trying to use trickery, tomfoolery to beat people. Your kids have a hard enough time lining up and going from point A to point B without making mistakes. Do you know how many times you got to do it right before you can win? That's why you're here. You're here because you don't have the best players, and you probably are outmanned against everybody you play, and you need to get to a point of elite execution because you're going to need that to overcome your physical shortcomings. Formation Nation is destroying a lot of coaches because they think, oh, this is the cheap way out. This is the lazy way out. We'll just line up differently and we'll confuse the opponent. And that's how we're going to win. You're going to win by aligning a certain way to make the concept work. Zone dive works when you run it out of flex and occasionally out of heavy. Mid triple works when you run it out of spread and occasionally out of flex. Trap works out of spread. Toss works either out of heavy and out of flex. Hard to run toss to a 2-man surface. Air Force will do it sometimes, but it's hard because you have no margin of error with the quarterback's footwork on the toss. Passing game switch is out of spread. Vert is out of flex. The boot passes are out of flex. They don't throw out of heavy. When Army was running it, they never threw out of heavy. Before Navy went totally communist, they never threw out of heavy. And I know there's a lot of guys that have these compulsions to want to throw out of heavy. Heavy is a gag. It's basically, does the defense adjust? As soon as they adjust, the gag is up. So, go with the data. Trust the data. Go all in on the data. The data doesn't care about my feelings or your feelings. Concepts dictate formations. Your execution is more important than you tricking or fooling your opponent. That's the cheap way out. That's for the lazy people. The real men, the men of conviction, the people that are actually going to win long term, you're going to call a concept, maximize the concept with the formation, and run it. And you don't care, oh, the defense might know what we're doing. Who the heck cares? Air Force doesn't care. I had an Air Force assistant tell me that. He said, I'm shocked that these millionaires don't care that we line up this way and they know we're running this, but they don't do anything about it. Because they can't, because they're helpless. Because there is no offense that God has ever created that gets you to do more with less. That's why it's lasted 60 years. That's why it worked in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, the teens, and today. That's why it works. It's why Air Force is 43-15 the last 4 years, or 5 years. It's why Air Force has won 74% of their games the last 5 years. It's why every time Air Force plays a Power 5 team, they beat them. It's nonstop. The question is, are you going to take that information and apply it with an actual action plan that gets you closer to winning? A lot of coaches like to talk. They're like women. They want to talk, and then they go out and they run the same old stuff. And then they don't know why they're failing, and then eventually a parent rattles them, and then they resign for family reasons. They're going to spend more time with my family. You got to take actual action. The actual action is what Air Force is doing. When you do what Air Force is doing, nothing is going to get you closer to winning. It is number one. You want to win more games in 2024? Do what Air Force does. Call me. I will teach you how. I've been doing this for 14 years in business, teaching high school coaches in 46 states how to do this the right way the first time. Put your career in my hands and watch what happens. Last year, I had a school in Maryland. They went to the state quarterfinals for the first time in 30 years. The year before that, I had a school with 14 players. They dressed 14 kids in the state championship game, and they played in the state championship game in South Carolina. I had a school in Oklahoma. They were a 500 program. I worked with them. They went to the second round of state playoffs and averaged over 400 yards a game. You think it's an accident? No accident. They took action. Are you a man of action, or are you going to talk until you have something to say, and by then you're going to resign for family reasons, or your administration's going to say, we're going in a different direction? What are you going to do? Pick up the phone, give me a call. Let's start winning now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't talk to your staff. Don't talk to your wife about it. Let's call. Let's make it work today. I'll see you in the next video. Talk soon.